moving on from the San Francisco 49ers, who picked next in this division? Because I know the Rams and the Seahawks
The
didn't have a
Arizona
first round pick.
Cardinals.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yep. Mhm. Drafting arguably I think said my favorite player first overall, Zaven Collins. I'm really looking forward to seeing him. I like this pick overall. I think he's kind of an underrated, kind of went under the kind of overall hype draft board. And then going into that division, you're going to need some athletic linebackers because those offenses, the Seahawks are with Chris Carson and Russell Wilson, and then also all the receivers right there. You're going to need some athletic linebackers to cover. We haven't even talked about the Rams, and same thing with the 49ers as well, especially then as Trey Lance develops. You're going to need someone to cover him as well. So
Yeah, no.
I really like that number one overall pick as well. Then they got Rondell Moore with their second overall pick, which I think is great value, especially as Larry Fitzgerald is retiring or is going to retire. Maybe he's got one more year left in him. But those two picks to me right there, I think, already gets them into the B minus category.
Yeah, so for me, I really like what they did. I like Zaven Collins as well, and Rondell Moore is a very good gadget player. He has a little concerns for me with his route running ability.
Hmm.
At one point in his career, I know I've said this on the podcast multiple times, and you kind of disagree with me. Said it was quarterback play, but still concerning for me that he was not running serious routes at Purdue. At one point, he had negative yards in his route. Like his average route was behind the line of scrimmage. So,
Hmm. Well,
uh,
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
but I know you've said that multiple times that you feel that's more quarterback play than actual
Well,
receiver play.
quarterback and offensive scheme play, like screen pass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you said that. That's a good point. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so it's just something to keep an eye on. For me, my actual favorite pick that they got was Tay Gowan, the UCF corner.
Yeah.
When I was watching Richie Grant, this guy popped off the tape for me. I mean, pretty big corner. Well, I say big. He's pretty like if you build a corner, I think he's 6 foot, 185, long arms, but he plays very physical, good ball skills. So I really like that pick, and to get him in the sixth round at 223 overall,
Yeah.
that's very good value, especially going against receivers like DK Metcalf, Robert Woods, and now Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel in San Francisco. For me, I think they couldn't have had much of a better draft, considering they didn't really have a third round pick. They just had 4 of their 7 picks were in the 6th and 7th round.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to give them a B plus. I like their first 2 picks, and I think Tay Gowan is a guy that comes in and carves out a role in training camp. So
Yeah. I was actually that's what I was going to say as well. I think those first two picks, Rondo Moore does have some development, as I say, but I think kind of where the NFL is going, those smaller, shiftier receivers, I think he could potentially be something, especially to pair him with DeAndre Hopkins as well,
and AJ Green.
and AJ Green as well. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, we take Gowan, and also then Victor D Kimji, D Bukuji, D
I have no idea.
from Duke. Apologize if you ever watch this and I mispronounced your
Demukajay?
name. Yeah, that's much better.
I have no
Uh,
idea.
I also think he's a great value pick because that was also in the sixth round as well. But yeah, I think the Cardinals just had a solid overall pick. Definitely focusing, I think, more on the skill players. Do linebackers count as skill players?
Um,
Because they're kind of that in
no,
between.
not really. But he can play skill. I mean, he can play safety. I mean, he's athletic enough. He ran a 4.4.
Yeah, he could play nickel or something like that. And so, but yeah, really, okay, so besides that one pick, only have one interior.
Yeah.
Definitely, well, sorry, two interior. Their seventh round pick was a center. But
Yeah.
overall, yeah, I like their draft class as well. I think it's kind of the same, nothing sexy, um,
Yeah.
especially when it came to the skill players, but I felt like it was good value for all those picks. I'm
Uh-huh.
very, Zaven Collins, I'm very curious to see how he ends up doing. So
Yeah, no, I liked him as a prospect, not as much as you liked him, but for me, I think he's a good value at 16. Um, I don't know if I would have taken him over somebody like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Just not necessarily like player, because I think he's more of a freak athlete than him.
yeah,
But they love to run like some linebacker blitzes or drop a linebacker into coverage, and I think Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is just a little better at that. He's a little bit like smaller, so he's a little bit faster, a little bit more agile on his feet.
yeah.
But I mean, Zaven Collins is a freak.
He is a freak, man. I think he can do it all for them.
I think it was he had a game against Liberty where he took the pick six back to win in overtime or something.
Yeah.
And he hit like 19 and a half miles an hour, and he's 6'4", 245 to 260. Like that's almost Derrick Henry like.
Yeah. I mean, the dude's a freak, and the stuff that he can do is absolutely insane. You know, for his size and the stuff that he can bring to the table for the Cardinals. I'm really looking forward to that pick.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So.
But overall, my grade was a B plus. What was your overall like grade for them?
I agree with you. I think it'd be.
Okay.
I wish they had some more. I think they had their 4th round pick, but they had no 3rd or 5th round picks. They had all 6th and 7th round picks. So we'll have to see how those guys develop.
We still have a couple minutes on them. So one of the things that probably my biggest complaint and why I didn't give them an A was, for me, I felt like Kyler Murray. Granted, he's pretty good at what I'm about to say. I felt like he was just running for his life last year, and I felt like they could have done some things to shore up the offensive line besides just drafting a 7th round center.
Yeah.
I wish they could have gone that direction earlier in the draft, but also like the only guy that I could really think of that they could have subbed out for was Marco Wilson. Maybe they just didn't feel that value was there for him, but
maybe, yeah. I think you could also maybe make a merit for Rondell Moore. Because there are a lot of good offensive linemen in that 2nd round pick, especially with some concerns. And you're already pretty deep with the receiver class already. I think Rondell Moore is a good pick for the receiver class, also especially for the future. But that is a fair point about the offensive line, especially in a defense in a division where you have to play the Rams, and that's the best offensive line, or the best.
And then line. San Francisco is what, top 3
if they're when they're healthy. Yeah. We didn't experience it last year just because none of them were healthy. And Seattle's no slouch either. You still have a Pete Carroll run defense, and so I agree, and that's where I think Zaven Collins kind of comes into play, because he can't have that pass rush and that run protection, but still can. But then still I can drop back into coverage as well. But kicker and interior, I do see what you're saying, and I think that would have been a good pick. I'm trying to remember who was picked. I don't know if he still picked Rondell Moore, but trade out Marco Wilson, because you do get Tay Gowan in the
but at that point you're picking a day 3 lineman, and so that's, again, at day 3 you're just picking traits you like, and then you hope to develop in the future. So you never know, but